It's Angela and Zoe here on Friday for our Fur Talk Friday. Thank you for joining me, and I appreciate some of the questions that I have been getting from you over the last couple of days. Today I wanted to specifically talk about puppies and having them in the grooming salon and how important it is to start them really young. So one of the questions that I got is, where did I get Zoe? And her breeder is called Serendipity Poodles, and it's here in San Marcos. And one of the deals that I made with her breeder was that I said, you know, she's gonna be a grooming dog, I might compete with her, and I wanna be working on dyeing her, so it's like super important that she's good in a grooming salon. So one of the things that when I was looking at breeders that I thought was important is that this particular breeder, she had already been taking her to a groomer, and so I got Zoe when she was 5 months old, and she had already been being seen at a groomer prior to that, like getting her. So typically poodles have shaved faces, and in grooming terms we call that a clean face. And so she had already been getting her face shaved, her feet shaved, and was super used to being at a grooming salon. And so, but I still told her breeder, I'm like, well, for me it's super important that she's good, so I would like to take her and work with her one time before I actually purchase her. And so I brought her to the grooming salon and we worked together, and she was actually a dream. But part of that's because she got to go when she was really young. So a lot of people think, oh, my puppy, a lot of people get like doodles and they think, I really like this long puppy coat, I don't want to take him to a groomer yet, I don't want a haircut. But it's super important, as soon as they have their first shots, bring them to a groomer. When any of my customers get like a new puppy, and sometimes it's really cool, they bring the puppy and I get to meet them before they even come in for their first appointment. Maybe they still don't have all of their shots. I will like step outside with them, you know, say hi to their puppy, and I'll just give them a free nail trim. So at least they've already had like their first nail trim. And just kind of like introduce them to it in a like easygoing, positive way. And then the next thing is, as soon as they have had all their shots, to get them in and have what we like to call like a puppy introduction. And so what that is like just kind of getting the puppy used to being in a grooming salon. Some people, there's also a misconception. I have some great doggy parents. I'm just gonna do this today. She's kind of in a funky mood. She's like very hyper. I just took her for a walk and she was like bouncing all around, where she's been much more in control. So we're just gonna go with her little pigtails today. But so I have some parents that are really good trying to like, you know, do everything they can to have their puppy used to being bathed and stuff like that at home, which is good. But then there's like a misconception that because they're doing them at home, maybe they don't need to do that to bring them to a groomer. But this environment is just totally different, you know. They have to stand on a table, they have to be around other dogs that are making different kind of noises. Some of our tools maybe are louder than the tools that they have at home. And so, you know, just having them acclimate to that environment at a young age before they get their first haircut is super important. Just like training with like obedience and everything is important, so is getting them used to the groomer. I had one dog last week, was a puppy, and he got really nervous and he had an upset stomach, and we couldn't finish because we felt like it was too much for him for his first time, and the dad really didn't understand that. And so that's why I feel like it's so important to like speak out about it, because we want dogs who are comfortable standing on the table, comfortable being touched, comfortable teaching them to let us hold them by their chin hair. Zoe doesn't have a lot of chin hair, so it makes it challenging. But if you have a puppy at home and you can practice holding them like this is how I then cut over their face. And so in the beginning, they like kind of pull and everything, but the more comfortable they can get with me just holding them like that, I have some dogs that I can like literally groom with them just in the palm of my hand, which is much better. So, so those are just important things that you can be doing at home with your puppy. If you guys have any questions for me, I'll try to start answering ones that I see popping up. But one of the questions that I got asked was, at what age can we start dyeing the dogs? And so there are like shampoos that have color in them that we can use at a younger age, and those shampoos are actually pretty safe for most pets. But these kind of products, you should probably wait till they're about 6 months. But what I would I hesitate to say 6 months. It's safe to use them when they're 6 months, but if they're not like super comfortable at the grooming salon, I would never want to like, I see, hi from Argentina. My husband's actually Argentinian. His parents immigrated here from Argentina, so I would love to visit there one day. But it's super important that the dog is like really comfortable at being at a groomer before we start dyeing them. We don't want to be like, you know, trying to dye their ears or something and they're pulling and not understanding. So I did start dyeing Zoe when she was right about 6 months, but like I said, I was bathing her once a week, and so she was totally used to being here, and she did really well for her first time. I'm being asked, where are we located? So we are located in Carlsbad, California. Specifically, it's called Bressy Ranch. So yeah, so that's in San Diego. I see my husband just joined. Hi, husband. The other thing that's really helpful for you guys to do at home with puppies is to be like holding their paws. And actually, let me see. This is one of my clippers, and if you, I don't know if you can hear it if I stop talking, but this is kind of similar to an electronic toothbrush. So if you started practicing at home when they're super little, and turn your electric toothbrush on, hold their paws, just hold their hand or their paw to the clipper, and then give them treats to help like make it positive and desensitize them. That's helpful to us. But the thing that I really want to emphasize is that if your dog is really pulling when you're doing that and they're trying to get away, don't be giving them treats when they're acting naughty, you know, and don't just let it stop. Just kind of hold on for a minute. You know, if she were pulling, you just kind of hold on for a minute until they stop. And then even if they only stop for like a few seconds, that's when you reward them. You know, reward them when they do it correctly so they know, oh, when I relax, I get a reward. You can also use that electronic toothbrush and just hold it like, I told you guys she's in a mood today, so I'm like, oh no, how's this gonna work out? But just hold it next to their face, and so when they're doing that, that's not when you give them the reward. You normally hold on. I also wonder if my husband's got here and is in the back. So just like, this is embarrassing because this is not what you want, but this is what your puppy will do. So, you know, also just running it all over their body. She's showing off. She was showing off outside too. I've been really working with her on training. Just like training and grooming is important, also obedience is important. And she's just in a mood today. So, but she has been doing a lot better with the trainer, and she hasn't been bouncing around like you may have seen in that one video. That was when she was only a few months old on the leash. But she definitely is opinionated and has a mind of her own. Oh, what a good girl. What a good girl. Although, you know what I also noticed is that I've been hand scissoring her whole life. So then when I do use a clipper on some, like I use a clipper on this part to kind of carve out her chest, and then she was like, wait a minute, you usually scissor me. So that was kind of funny. But let's see, do you guys have any other questions? Zoe is a cute girl. Go, you can give me kisses. Now she's gonna feel sorry that she's being naughty. Yeah, and the other question that I was asked is, you know, to make sure to like start brushing right away, you know. The earlier you start brushing your dog and the more regular, before they get like matted or anything, before they're tangly, it's just more pleasant for them. So if you start brushing them when they're real young, then it makes everything better for them. And then they get to a point like Zoe, typically at home, I can just have her lay down and she'll let me brush her. I am being asked if it's legal to color her hair. So I am in California in the United States, and here it is absolutely legal. We have products that are very safe for them. And so it's literally like dyeing them with like blueberries or pomegranate juice or something like that. They're vegan products, they're non-toxic. What I've been hearing from people in other countries is that they don't have the availability of those kind of products, which is sad. So I know that this is kind of a big problem with having things online, is that, you know, if you don't know what country somebody's in, then you may feel like, I do know that it is illegal in certain countries. In fact, it's illegal in Florida and Colorado. I feel like some of those things need to be changed, because I know that when I work on Zoe, I'm not like doing anything to hurt her. The product I use is very gentle. If you've seen some of my videos, she literally stands there. She's, you know, having more of a little temper tantrum with this than she is the dye. And we actually just dyed a dog today who is very good. She just stood there. She, you know, she likes that we're like rubbing her head when we're putting the dye in and everything. So it is not animal abuse. If I had a 6-month-old puppy who was acting how Zoe just was, and I'm like trying to dye her ears, and like if it was a situation like that and it seems traumatic to the dog, I wouldn't do it. But for me here, it is legal. I color her hair about every 3 to 4 months. It naturally starts to fade. That's part of, you know, it being like non-toxic and gentle. It does start to fade, but I usually re-dye her when her roots start showing. So I just dyed her like a couple weekends ago, so her roots aren't showing right now, but when they start to show, then that's when I re-dye her, or when I start to think of something creative that I want to do and I get excited, and then I re-dye her. Yeah. Oh, I have a customer named Austin. Hi, Austin. And he just wanted me to tell everybody that his dog, Callie, she's a short-haired dog, and she was actually my first customer dog that we got to dye, and we did her for Pride last year. We did the trans colors on her chest, and she sat very calm and was a very good girl, and so we're very excited to get to work with her for Pride again this year, probably next month. And then I think we are also gonna like get some jewels and stuff, some sparkly, and really do her up for Pride, so we're excited about that. Also, I think somebody, if I saw correctly, was asking me if I was gonna change her colors. I probably won't change her colors just because she's kind of getting known for this, at least within the next few months. She has some like appearances that she's gonna do, so I want to keep her looking the same for those. But my chin, can you stay here? Gala, she's all ready for Cinco de Mayo. We're celebrating today. I'm gonna dye her tail rainbow colors for Pride, so I'm getting excited about that. My husband normally says, oops, there's the phone. My husband normally says that I can't dye Gala, but but I am going to just do her tail rainbow colors. Somebody's asking where they can get a poodle puppy. Like I said, Zoe came from Serendipity Poodles in San Marcos. But you just want to do your research. I don't know where you're located. I'm in Carlsbad, so it was pretty close for me. But the main thing when you're looking for a puppy is that you want to make sure you're not getting them from a puppy mill. I feel like, you know, either go to a reputable breeder. I don't feel like breeders are the problem. I feel like puppy mills are the problem, and so we shouldn't be hating on the breeders who are trying to create like good, well-bred dogs. It's the puppy mills that are the problem and leading to overcrowding in the shelters and everything. Totally support adopting animals. Also, I've adopted and I've gotten purebred dogs, but if you're going to a breeder, you just don't want to support one that's not doing things correctly. That's super important. My little dog is Gala. She's a Japanese Chin. So, all right, well, if you guys have any more questions for me about puppies, or if anybody wants to message me, I'm going to try to be doing these every Friday for Talk Friday after work. And so if you guys have any ideas of topics or anything you'd like me to cover, I would be happy to hear them. Otherwise, till next week, I hope you guys all have a good weekend. If anyone's in the area, Zoe and I will be in Carlsbad for the Carlsbad Street Fair on Sunday. Otherwise, bye.